A young fan named John threw out the first pitch. Some other young fans said play ball, and we are back here at Falcon Park for today's edition of the Auburn Double Days in their PGCBL clash with the Geneva Red Wings. Happy Father's Day, everyone. I'm Ryan Story. I'll be on the call today. By myself, Evan Carocchio, not here in the broadcast booth. He's taking Father's Day off, but happy Father's Day for all you fathers at home, for everyone listening. Speaking of Father's Day, that's kind of been the relationship between the Auburn Double Days and the Geneva Red Wings this year. They've effectively sunned Geneva in this relationship as Auburn up 4-0 on the season series. That's a margin of 42 runs scored by Auburn, 9 runs scored by Geneva. On average, that equates to about 10-2 margin of victory each game for the Double Days. We'll see how that goes here if the trend continues for your Double Days. But right now, these teams actually have had opposite success compared to their records in recent games. The Auburn Double Days sitting at 9-4 on a one-game losing streak. Geneva 3-10, but on a two-game winning streak, actually, with winning a doubleheader against Newark yesterday, I believe, or just a few days ago. Now for the opening pitch, Braylon Dominguez kicking things off for the Auburn Double Days just upstairs. Up to bat for the Red Wings is J.C. Gamble, the second baseman. He lets that pitch go for ball 2. Dominguez hitting 87 miles per hour on that fastball. First three batters for the Red Wings today will be J.C. Gamble, followed up by Connor McGough and C.J. Arrigo. It's swung on, hit over to the second baseman, Ragland, tossing it to first, gets there in time. Justin Batts corrals the toss from Ragland. So after that 4-3 putout, Connor McGough stepping up to the plate, the left fielder. McGough, a Davidson College product, home of Steph Curry. The first pitch of the at-bat clips the zone, strike one on the 86-mile-per-hour fastball. In the field for the Double Days today. Actually, that's a grounder hit over to the second baseman, Ragland. Yet again, that same 4-3 putout puts down a second straight batter. C.J. Arrigo now up for the Red Wings. Arrigo bats .368 on the campaign, near the top of the stat sheet for the Red Wings. The first pitch misses way high. As I mentioned, Arrigo batting .368, also slugging .368, so he does not have any extra base hits yet this season. But he's been racking up those singles. As another pitch misses upstairs, breaking ball doesn't fall down enough into the zone. Quick 3-0 count, as Dominguez just has not been able to get that ball down. It stayed around the head level of Arrigo this entire at-bat. And there's a quick 4-pitch walk, putting C.J. Arrigo on first base and bringing up the cleanup batter, Austin Dietz, who's also today's extra hitter for the Geneva Red Wings. Dominguez this season has an ERA of 4.5. He currently has not recorded either a win or a loss. Another pitch up high, making it 5 straight balls thrown by Dominguez. Dominguez only has 6 total innings pitched this season for the Double Days, but walks really haven't been too much of an issue. Just 3 walks given up over those 6 innings. However, he's in danger of walking a second straight batter, falling behind in the count early against Austin Dietz 2-0. Dietz this season a .250 batter, but has some power behind his bat, slugging .500. He fouls that pitch off. So that ends the streak of Dominguez throwing 6 straight balls. We'll see how he can clash with Dietz here. On deck, although there are 2 outs, is Dylan Abbott. The 2-1 in, swung on and missed. Dominguez 1 strike away from getting out of the first inning unscathed. Rigo creeping off first. The 2-2 pitch, whiff. That's strike number 3. Braylon Dominguez starts off today with a 1-2-3-4 inning. And we'll head to the bottom of the first with your Auburn Doubledays on deck. Jaden Madrid will be followed up by Teddy Monahan, then Colin Haug. Stay tuned to see how they go at the plate. Your Auburn Doubledays are up to bat to kick off today's the bottom of the first inning in today's matchup. Jaden Madrid will be going against Tyler Arno. Just finished up his junior year at SUNY Brockport, the pitcher did. He finished last season with a 7.56 ERA. So far for the Red Wings this season, he's sporting a 9.26 ERA through 4 appearances. Pitch misses outside, gets past the catcher, Caden Coots. Jaden Madrid this season has been part of a very prolific Doubledays lineup. Madrid just batting .222, but his fielding is really where he's most useful to the team, as well as his speed, which is one of the reasons that he leads off for the Doubledays. Second pitch of the at-bat falls in for strike 1. Madrid lets it go. And it's swung on, hit into center field, and that will fall into the glove of Noah Company out there in the middle of the outfield. That fly out brings up Teddy Monahan, the power hitter for your Auburn Doubledays. Auburn only has 2 home runs on the season. Monahan has both of them. He's batting .484 and slugging a whopping .871. The first pitch, Monahan lets it go, strike 1. The 0-1 swung on as Monahan took a real hack at that, couldn't connect. Monahan readies for the 0-2. Swings, fouls it off. He stays alive in the at-bat, however. After Monahan, it'll be Colin Haug, the left fielder, followed up by Justin Batts, the first baseman. Monahan today is the designated hitter for your Double Days. Bit of an early start today on Father's Day. We started today at 5 o'clock, as opposed to that normal 6:30 weekday time. And there's strike number 3. Monahan thought he checked. The umpire kind of hesitated on the call. And then, yeah, it did not seem like Monahan was too thrilled about that being called there. So it'll be ruled a swinging strike for Teddy Monahan. Bringing up Colin Haug. This season, Haug batting .429 for the Double Days. Just, there are 11 batters with a batting average above 400, and there's a base hit for Colin Haug. That's his 7th base hit of the season for the Double Days. Swung on the first pitch he saw, and that got past the outstretched glove of Christopher Gonzalo. So with Colin Haug advancing to first, Justin Batts steps up to the plate. The first baseman readies for the pitch. And there's a pickoff attempt that gets past the first baseman, Buxton. And Colin Haug is going to easily take second. After that failed pickoff attempt, the Double Days have their first runner in scoring position today. Justin Batts readies. And he lets that first pitch actually clip the zone and looked outside, but umpire ruled it came just back enough in. Justin Batts batting .400. He started in 7 games this season, appeared in 8. So 2 outs on the board. Justin Batts with the chance to drive in a run to put the Double Days on the scoreboard in the bottom of the first inning. The pitch. Strike 3 sits down Justin Batts, who is not thrilled about that call. The Falcon faithful, frankly, weren't too happy about that call either. And so, both teams go through 4 batters in the first inning. We'll be back in the second for more Double Days action coming your way. We're back here in the top of the second inning after a scoreless first, so anyone's Nerfy at home would have hit. No runs in the first inning, and that brings up the next hitter for the Red Wings, Dylan Abbott, the designated hitter, after the first inning ended on Austin Dietz striking out. Raylan Dominguez back on the mound as he forces Abbott to foul off the first pitch he sees. Raylan Dominguez is the product of the University of Massachusetts, UMass, originally out of Providence, Rhode Island. After that ball, it's a 1-1 count, and now strike two. It seems the umpire favors that outer edge of the plate. The Doubledays certainly weren't happy when both Monahan and Bats got rung up on backwards Ks, as the breaking ball can't find its way into the zone to make a 2-2 count. Dominguez went through 14 pitches in the first inning. Fifth pitch of the at-bat misses high to make it a full count on the 87-mile-per-hour fastball. First full count we've seen today. Dominguez pitches in, swung on, that's fouled off, and this at-bat will stay alive. We're approaching the seventh pitch here of this at-bat. The pitch is in, and it misses upstairs. That's the second walk of the day given up by Dominguez. And now Caden Coots up to bat. So no outs and a runner on first. Coots batting .226 on the year. And he smashes that into center field. That's left center field. But the catch is made by Ethan Smith, the newcomer for your Auburn Doubledays. And that records the first out of the inning. Now the center fielder for the Red Wings is also up to bat. It's Noah Company. Noah Company this season batting .238, so slightly above Coots. They're back-to-back in the stat sheet. And there's a strike one, and the throw down to first, not in time. Good throw there by Griggs to get it over to the first baseman Bats. The righty pitcher versus the lefty batter. Company awaiting the pitch. The 0-1 is smacked into left field, and that's an easy play for Colin Haug to record the second out of the inning, the second straight fly out. That brings up Ben Buxton, the first baseman, up to bat. Dylan Abbott still over on first. Buxton, a second straight lefty. He swings and fouls that off. It's a hard ricochet off the net, and that now Buxton facing the 0-1 count. Out in the field for the Doubledays today, it's Haug in left field, Smith in center, and Michael Ambrosio out there in right. The infield going from left to right is Chase Moore at third, with Jaden Madrid at short, William Ragland the third at second, and Justin Batts at first. Catching for Dominguez is Jonathan Griggs. Yet another pitch fouled off, making it a 1-2 count. 2 strikes, 2 outs. Dominguez can escape again here. He ended the first inning with a strikeout. Can he do the same? The 1-2 pitch. In, swung on, and missed. Excuse me, that's fouled off. Buxton just barely clipped a piece of that. My vantage point, it looked like it had gotten through, but instead, another 1-2 pitch. And the pickoff throw over 2 bats, not in time. Dominguez readies again. The pitch in, swung on, and yet another foul ball. That's the 4th pitch that Buxton has fouled off this at-bat. Despite 5 total pitches, it's still just a 1-2 count in favor of Dominguez. The 1-2 way outside on the breaking ball, 70 miles per hour there. Dominguez being a righty doesn't really have a great vantage point at Abbott on first. That's swung on and fouled off yet again. Buxton just barely fighting to stay alive in this at-bat. The 200 batter still looking for his first extra base hit of the season. He's only walked once as well. He's desperately trying to stay alive here and scraping his way by. The 2-2 can't find the zone, and Buxton has worked his way back from the brink, now facing a full count. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. It's in, it's swung on, and it's fouled off. Wow, 6 foul balls this at-bat. It's approaching the 10th pitch, getting into the double digits of this at-bat. The 10th pitch, swung on. That's going to be in play. Madrid coming underneath it. Instead, it's the 3rd baseman, Chase Moore, snagging the 3rd out of the inning. We'll head into the bottom of the 2nd with your Auburn Doubledays on deck for their 2nd time around. We're here in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and the man who just ended the top half of the inning, Chase Moore, up to bat. Chase Moore will be followed up by Ethan Smith and then Jonathan Griggs. First, the lefty 3rd baseman. Still going against Tyler Arno, who struck out 2 Doubledays in the first inning. Arno's first pitch gets a swing. That's fouled off to the left field grandstand. Well, Arno, his ERA might not be the most impressive this season, but one number that does really stick out is strikeouts. He struck out 13 batters in 11.2 innings pitched, that number 13 being the second highest on Geneva this season. That trails only Caden Brault, who has 15. Now a 1-1 count to Moore. Swung on and missed. He couldn't catch any of that pitch. The Alcorn State product gets back in the batter's box. He trails now 1-2 in the count. Wow, that's a very outside pitch, but that's strike 3, and honestly, Chase Moore just looks kind of incredulous at that one. Wow, I'm somewhat surprised by that pitch, but that's strikeout number 3 of the day for Tyler Arno, bringing up Ethan Smith, the center fielder. Ethan Smith has only played in 1 game so far for the Doubledays, but he's had 2 hits in that contest, 4 total RBIs already, and walked once. The first pitch he saw was a ball. Now the second flips the bottom of the zone. Again on deck, the catcher, Jonathan Griggs. 1-1 pitch, a breaking ball. Beautiful 77-mile-per-hour curve that slots into the zone for strike 2. So now Smith with his back against the wall. Pitch misses outside. Ethan Smith out of Denison University. Denison, recent winners of the D3 championship. As Smith stays alive to foul that off. Doubledays have quite a few Denison players this season. It's certainly not limited to just Smith. Also have Soren Cooper on the squad. And Flynn Shoop as well. The 1-2. Breaking ball misses upstairs. Excuse me, that's now a 3-2, so full count. The 3-2 in. That's inside. Misses the zone. That's a walk that puts Ethan Smith over on first. That's Tyler Arno's first walk of the day, his 8th of the season. And Jonathan Griggs now steps up to the plate with a runner on first. Breaking ball, missing inside. Looked like it was headed right at the head of Griggs before curving back in. Rounding up the lineup after Griggs, it's William Ragland, followed up by Zach Sperger and Michael Ambrosio. As there's a takeoff, and Smith will have an easy stolen bag. He slipped off the base, but managed to get back in time. Smith did not have a stolen bag in his first game as a Doubleday, so that's his first of his Auburn career. The 1-1 count facing Griggs. Because now Arno really has to keep his eye back there on Smith. Can't imagine he knows too much about facing him. So I has to wonder if Smith is really a threat over towards third. But there is now a runner in scoring position with the valuable hitter Griggs up to bat. Griggs batting .438 this season, slugging .500. Fifth highest batting average on the double days. Pitch misses outside. Now a 3-1 count. Arno in danger here. The 3-1, looking to avoid his second straight walk. Looks back at Smith. Smith takes off, and it's fouled off. Would have been an easy stolen base for Ethan Smith. Instead, he has to make his way back to second. Now Arno probably has an inclination that Smith is taking off. It's a full count. A pitch with big implications already here in the second inning. And a pickoff thrown back over to the second baseman, J.C. Gamble. Manning the infield for Geneva today, it's C.J. Arrigo at third, Gonzalo at short, Gamble at second, and Ben Buxton at first. Caden Coots catching, and a foul off by Griggs. He stays alive in the at-bat. Out in the outfield, it's Connor McGough alongside Noah Company and Kenta Minikata going left to right. Count still full. Seventh pitch of the at-bat. Smith taking a heavy lead off second. The 3-2. That's strike three, and Griggs drops nearly to his knees. He cannot believe that call, and that's that same one that's really been messing with excuse me, really been messing with these double days batters today. That outside of the zone pitch. They just haven't been swinging, and this umpire has shown that he will be calling those strikes. Griggs had thrown back his bat, actually looking like he thought he was going to take first on the walk. Instead, now there's 2 outs on the board. Smith on second. William Ragland up to bat, and there's a pickoff thrown back over to the second baseman, Gamble. Arno has struck out now 4 batters today, walking only 1 through 1 2/3 innings. The 0 pitch, swung on, Ragland fouls it off. Falcon faithful starting a clap chant in the stands as the pitch misses low. 1-1 now. That was an 86-mile-per-hour fastball that missed downstairs. Auburn still looking for his first run of the day. Smith could be that guy on second as we see the batter Ragland calling time. We'll step out and readjust. So again, 2 outs on the board. Ragland with the runner in scoring position doesn't swing. That's a 2-1 count. Ragland this season batting .267 in 8 game appearances. The pitch is in, missing outside again in pretty much the exact same spot. two good stops back-to-back by Caden Coots, the catcher. The Darth Vader mask plays over the speaker here at Falcon Park. It's Ragland steadies for the 3-1 pitch. It's in. It's swung on. That's going to likely drop, and no, it drops into the glove of Kenta Minakata. Could have came down, but just had a bit too much hang time. And Tyler Arno escapes the second inning. Still 0-0, tied up Auburn with Geneva. We'll be back shortly for more Double Days action coming your way. Back here in the top of the third inning. The Auburn Doubleday still tied with the Geneva Red Wings 3-0. Or excuse me, 0-0. Here in the third, Christopher Gonzalo up to bat for his first go-around. Still going against Braylon Dominguez on the mound. Gonzalo, the penultimate batter in the Red Wings lineup. Kenta Minakata batting 10th after him. Then it flips back around to J.C. Gamble, as there's actually a shown bunt. And Gonzalo thought he pulled back. That's called a strike, not swinging. Now 0-1. This time, no such bunt shown by Gonzalo as the breaking ball misses high. The righty batter doesn't go at that, takes a swing right after the fact, knowing that that was going to be called, making it a 1-2 count. Gonzalo has yet to swing. The 1-2, this time swung on and this time missed. Foul tip into the glove of Griggs. Puts down Gonzalo on strikes. Brings up Kenta Minakata. That was Braylon Dominguez's second strikeout of the day, trying to match Tyler Arno, who's got 4. And there's another strike. Nakata swinging and missing. The season batting .333 for the Red Wings. And that's a golf swing right there. Griggs trying to find it. Toss over to first. Bats secures the toss for the second out of the inning. So consecutive batters put down on strikes. Now J.C. Gamble, who grounded out to kick off tonight's contest, he's back up for his second go-around. The lefty batter doesn't swing at the first pitch. This time he does swing and barely dribbles it to the right of the batter's box. Dominguez already up past 40 pitches. 3 strikeouts on the day. The 1-1 misses low in the dirt to make it 2-1. Dominguez stepping back onto the mound. He's actually a UMass Lowell graduate, or not graduate, but pitcher at UMass Lowell. That's chopped just to the right of the first base line. Another foul ball, making it a 2-2 count. Dominguez, 18 years, 4 months old, sitting at 6'3", 180. The 2-2 with 2 outs. Swung on, whiffed, and that's going to be Braylon Dominguez striking out the side here in the 3rd inning. He's really heating up. And now we'll see how the Auburn Double Days do in the bottom of the 3rd. Stick around for more Double Days action coming back when you return. Due up for your Auburn Double Days is Zach Sperger, the extra hitter. One of 2 Double Days yet to take a swing. Zach Sperger will be followed up by Michael Ambrosio before it flips back over to Jaden Madrid. Tyler Arno, 4 strikeouts today. Something that Braylon Dominguez matched in the top of the 3rd by striking out the side. Dominguez only had 1 strikeout through the first 2 innings. Sperger doesn't go at the first pitch he sees. That falls in for strike 1. Sperger batting .357, slugging .429. Pitch misses inside. 1-1 count. Sperger has 1 stolen base this season, but has some pretty solid speed. So if he gets on base, could be dangerous for this Geneva squad. Wow, these Falcon fans not really thrilled with the calls by the umpire. 1-2. That misses high. Sperger still hasn't taken the bat off his shoulder. With the 2-2 count, he might be forced to swing, but the pitch, wow, falls in for strike 3. And Sperger is incredulous. Thomas Eaton, pretty sure, is laughing over there next to the dugout. That was one that Zach Sperger really never thought had a chance of being called a strike, but the breaking ball somehow made its way enough into the zone. Michael Ambrosio stepping up. One of the two Ambrosios on this Double-A squad. They're both out of Auburn. It's Michael and Steven. First pitch is a strike. Both Michael and Steven still looking for their first hit as a member of the Double-A's. Michael Ambrosio has had 5 at-bats this season. As that pitch falls outside. However, the Ambrosios do have a penchant for drawing walks. Michael's got on base 3 times via walk, Steven 4. The 1-1 with 1 out. Finds the bottom part of the zone. The Double-A's are probably going to need to get more aggressive with what pitches that they're swinging at. Now facing a 1-2, swung on, fouled off right down the first base line. The Double-A's first base coach, had to dodge out of the way. So after that pitch is fouled off, Ambrosio stepping back in. Now the 1-2 upstairs, up near the head chest area of Ambrosio. Tyler Arno going at 43 pitches now. The 2-2 just misses up high. It is certainly the longest it's taken for the Double-A's to get on the board against Geneva this season. Saw it even in the season opener against the Red Wings. They were able to put up 10 runs in the first inning, I believe. And there's ball number 4. Ambrosio fell behind to the count 1-2, worked his way back to draw a walk by Arno. Now Jaden Madrid up to bat with a runner on first. Arno today has walked 2 batters, given up 1 hit. Those are the only 3 he's allowed on base. Madrid lays down a beautiful bunt. He might be able to get there in time as the pitcher and catcher collide. Arno and Coots tackle each other, and Jaden Madrid is safe with a base hit bunt. After that very, very impressive play by Madrid, that brings up Teddy Monahan, the designated hitter. He struck out his first at-bat, but now he's got runners on first and second. Monahan this season, 17 RBIs, a team high. And by the way, that team high, 6 more than any other Double-A's batter. He'll take that first pitch for ball 1. This is the most danger Arno's found himself in today. 2 runners on, just 1 out. After Monahan, it's Haug, who got on base via a single in the first inning. The 1-0 way high. Monahan has to step out after that pitch. Arno falls behind 2-0. Monahan readying. Swinging the bat around. Arno keeping an eye on the base runner. Swung on and he took a massive chomp at that one. Couldn't connect. U of R product getting back ready. Monahan doesn't swing, and that does clip the zone. Monahan thought he was being patient. So did these Auburn Doubledays fans. And yeah, just not very happy with that call. The Doubledays are going to have to start swinging at those outside pitches. So 2 consecutive strikes makes it a 2-2 count. Still 2 runners on. Monahan calls time. Players mentally resetting. Monahan steps back in. A golden opportunity here to add to his RBI total. Again, he has 15 hits on the season, batting .484. But his bread and butter is those extra base hits. That drive-in runs has the chance here on the 2-2. That swung on. The breaking ball is fouled off. Monahan had the opportunity there. That breaking ball slotted in nicely. Could have potentially been crushed into the outfield. Instead, Monahan has to reset. Two as we approach 6 o'clock here at Falcon Park. Thanks for sticking with us. The 2-2, 1 out. Breaking ball missing just inside it. You could tell that some of these Auburn fans were worried that might have been strike 3. Instead, it's a full count, facing Monahan. Can the Doubledays star hitter show up at the plate? After striking out in his first at-bat, the 3-2. It's in. It's swung on. That's hit into center field. Company trying to track it down, and he will grab it. No tag by Michael Ambrosio. And so Ambrosio remains at second, Madrid still at first, and Colin Haug up to bat. Colin Haug had that single to the shortstop Christopher Gonzalo in the first inning. A single here would likely score a runner, as there's a big swing from Haug, but no dice. Haug has fallen behind early. The 0-1 and a breaking ball that Haug kind of jumped back at, but instead the 73-mile-per-hour pitch falls in. Haug in the gutter here. The 0-2, Justin Batts on deck if it comes down to him. But there's 2 outs on the board. And strike 3 ends the inning for the Auburn Doubledays. We're through 3 innings, and it's still tied between Auburn and Geneva. Stick around for more Doubledays baseball coming your way. Back here in the fourth inning, Ryan Story on the call for today's clash between the Auburn Doubledays and Geneva Red Wings. Neither team has gotten on the scoreboard. Connor McGough up to bat. The Red Wings were struck out back to back by Braylon Dominguez in the third. Now time called by the umpire after Dominguez was already into his windup. Pitch way outside. Just had the kids run the bases here at Falcon Park. An opportunity that Auburn gives every game. And there's a hit over to this shortstop, Jada Madrid. The throw nearly in time, but not much you can do there after stumbling into the dirt. There's a base hit, an infield base hit for Connor McGough. That is the first hit of the day allowed by Dominguez. And now CJ Arrigo up to bat. The third baseman walked his first time around. As there's a takeoff, McGough will get over to second easily. The ball got away from Jonathan Griggs. And a runner quickly in scoring position. McGough adding to his tally of stolen bags this season. He had 3 entering today. Now it makes it 4. That puts him third on the Red Wings squad, trailing J.C. Gamble's, 9 stolen bases alongside Dylan Briggs, who has 6. Dominguez 2-1 in the count against Arrigo. A runner on second with no outs on the board. McGough taking a healthy lead off of second. Now Dominguez has got McGough in a pickle, and a great play made by the third baseman, Chase Moore. Sits down Connor McGough. Nice heads-up fielding by the pitcher, Braylon Dominguez. Instead of throwing it over to Justin Betts at first, he throws it to Chase Moore at third, and McGough got caught being too greedy. Now there's a meeting on the mound as Thomas Eaton heads out there to check in with his pitcher. For any of you hockey fans out there, Brady Tkachuk got traded to the Panthers, teaming up with his brother Matthew Tkachuk. Just felt like that was some interesting news for any of the well-rounded sports fans here watching the Auburn Doubledays YouTube channel. Eaton's conversation with Dominguez seems to be fairly extended here today. And Dominguez will remain on the mound. And Dominguez this season has only showed up in 2 games and pitched a combined total of 6 innings through those games. That's an average of 3 innings per game, so we'll see how long his stay remains in this game. He's already pitched over 3 innings today. First pitch in is strike 1. A ball. Ball against Austin Dietz. And it's hit over to the first baseman. Bats to Madrid and then over. And it gets away from the first baseman. Braylon Dominguez was the one trying to make the play at first. But a fielder's choice. Still runner on first for the Red Wings. And again, another heads-up base running decision by Excuse me, fielding decision by Justin Batts, tossing it over to second to get the lead runner out. Dylan Abbott up with the runner on first. 2 outs on the board. Consecutive fielder's choices. That pitch misses just out of the zone. Austin Dietz is over on first. Strike one called against Abbott. Sorry for any video difficulties right now. We'll have that fixed for you shortly. Now the 1-1 count. The pitch is in and it misses inside, nearly clipping Abbott's arm. Instead, he steps back in for the 2-1. That pitch 78 miles per hour. And we're getting this video fixed for you now, as that's fouled off Abbott, making it a 2-2 count. Dominguez, the 2 outs on the board, nearly able to get out of the inning. Braylon Dominguez, that's hit into left field. And the play will be made by Colin Haug to end the top of the fourth. We'll be back shortly for the bottom half of the fourth inning when you return on the Auburn Double Days YouTube channel. We're back here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Justin Batts facing off against Tyler Arno. Arno has racked up 6 strikeouts on the day through just 3 innings of work. Justin Batts will try to come away with a different outcome compared to what he had to end the first inning, in which he struck out looking. The first pitch gets away from the catcher, Coots. That's ball 1. Batts this season batting .400, but hasn't displayed some of the power that we know he's capable of. Last year for Delaware State, he had 4 home runs, which was second on his collegiate squad. However, his batting average has been even better than He had last year as a redshirt freshman, batting 400 for the Doubledays, batted 256 this past season. Next pitch in there for strike one. The 2-1 swung on and whiffed. Bats attacking that breaking ball. Arno looking for his 7th strikeout of the day. The 2-2 fouled off by Bats. Last inning, the Doubledays got into scoring position, had runners on first and second with just one out, and couldn't come away with any scoring. Now Bats swinging his bat, readying the 2-2, missing high. That loads up the count. We got a full one here in the first at bat of the 4th inning, or at least the bottom half of the 4th inning. Arno now above 60 pitches on the day. The full count is swung on, fouled off. The Doubledays this season have been good at both drawing walks and not giving up walks when they're pitching. Ranked just above league average there, and now Justin Bats will take first as the breaking ball dips below the zone. ABS wouldn't side with the pitcher there. And now Justin Bats over to first. Chase Moore up to bat. That's the 3rd walk given up today by Tyler Arno. Chase Moore struck out his first go-around. The righty just walked. The lefty swings at the first pitch he sees that will traverse into left field, just into foul territory, but the catch is made by Connor McGough. So the F7 brings up Ethan Smith up to bat. Ethan Smith walked in his last at bat. One out on the board, a runner on first. Doubledays still haven't put a runner on third today. That breaking ball missed inside, so there's one out on the board here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And there's a pickoff toss over to the first baseman, Buxton. This just has not been a prolific day at the plate for either team. The Doubledays with 2 hits, Geneva with 1. More base runners have come via walks than anything else. Smith working his way to a 2-0 count early. And that swung on, fouled off. The Doubledays are generally playing their best baseball when they're stringing hits together. They don't sit near the top of the league in power plays, but you look at the squad second in the PGCBL in batting average with 333, second in on-base percentage with 458. Their slugging dips down to just 5th in the PGCBL, but still pretty good. That's fouled off by Smith. Smith steps back in after dropping his 2-0 count to 2-2. And that breaking ball misses outside. The full count. Arno has been pitching spectacularly for the Red Wings, but his pitch count is getting up there. We'll see how much gas he has left in the tank. The full count. It's swung on, fouled off. These long at-bats have to be hurting the pitcher and hurting his chances of making it into the 6-7 inning range. Now the count at 3-2. It's full. Swung on. Excuse me, not swung on. Instead, it's inside, nearly clipping the head of Smith. Instead, Ethan Smith goes to first. Justin Batts goes to second. And for the second straight inning, the Doubledays have runners on the first two bases. And we'll see Kyle French go out there to have a conversation with his pitcher. The Geneva manager will have a tough decision to make here, as Arno has been mowing through the Doubledays lineup in some aspects, but also letting base runners get on. And so it's only a matter of time before the dam breaks and the Doubledays manage to finally get a runner to cross home plate. But Arno will remain in the game with Jonathan Griggs up to bat. Griggs, in his first time around, he struck out. Smith, standing at second, has walked twice today, so he's found his way to success against Arno. Griggs was one of those victims of this umpire's wide strike zone, especially on the outer edges of the plate. We'll see if he learned from that this time around, and it seems like he did. Swings at that pitch that's way outside. So I'd be surprised to see Arno really throw a pitch over the plate, especially on this next toss, knowing that Griggs has shown he's willing to chase with how this umpire's calling it. The 0-1. Breaking ball misses down below. William Ragland on deck for the Doubledays. 2 runners on, 1 out on the board. Griggs this season has 8 RBIs, but there's a shot over to the third baseman, and the double play will be made to end the 4th inning. CJ Arrigo tossing it over to Ben Buxton as Jonathan Griggs hits into the double play. We'll head into the 5th inning with your Auburn Doubledays still stuck in a 0-0 tie with the Geneva Red Wings. Stay tuned for more Doubledays action coming your way. So, after an extended and heated discussion behind home plate, we're back playing baseball here at Falcon Park, top of the fifth inning. Thomas Eaton was getting riled up, talking to both the Geneva managers and the home plate umpire. First pitch in against Caden Coots is strike one. Braylon Dominguez still on the mound for the Doubledays. He's had himself quite the day today, only giving up one hit. That was an infield single. He's now worked his way to an 0-2 count against Coots. Dominguez has struck out 4 batters today, looking to make Coots his 5th. And wow, that's a hard ricochet off the helmet of Griggs. He seems unfazed though. Actually, a member of the Falcon faithful called out some Geneva Red Wings players who are out of the bullpen. As one of the umpires forces them to go back into the bullpen. Now a 1-2 count facing Coots. It was unclear what that long conversation between the innings was about. Might have been about the double play, but one thing's for sure, neither manager was too happy. There's strikeout number 5 of the day for Braylon Dominguez. He catches Coots swinging, and now Noah Company back up. Now the Auburn Doubledays fans not too happy with the behavior of this Geneva Red Wing squad, as that's fouled over near the Doubledays bullpen. Might traverse into the parking lot. Braylon Dominguez up to 60 pitches start out the day, and there's the first base hit to make it out of the infield given up by Dominguez. Noah Company hits a blooper single into shallow right field. Noah Company gets on first. Ben Buxton up to bat. Buxton popped out his first go around. Company taking a heavy lead off of first. First pitch in there for strike one. Company a very wide stance off of first, and he'll take off. It's hit over to the second baseman. Ragland looks at second, instead throwing it over to first. Noah Company had the head start going for the stolen base, instead makes it to second safely when he otherwise probably would have gotten turned into a victim of a double play. Noah Company in scoring position over on second. Christopher Gonzalo up to bat. And there's a little blooper over to the shortstop. Jaden Madrid on the run, makes the throw over to Justin Batts to end the top of the 5th inning. Some great fielding by your Auburn Doubledays. Stick around for more to see if the Doubledays hitting can match their fielding. Back here, bottom of the fifth inning. It's 0-0 still. The Auburn Doubledays yet to get a runner to cross home, but Geneva equally unable to get a runner around all four bags. Both teams have recorded 2 hits in this one. Now batting William Ragland III. He lets the first pitch go for a ball. Ragland flew out in his first at-bat of the day. Will be Ragland, then Spurger, then Ambrosio, the last 3 batters in the Doubledays order. Breaking ball. Can't get into the zone, making it 2-0. Tyler Arno still on the mound for the Red Wings. Now it's a 2-1 count. The SUNY Brockport pitcher, who's also spent some time at Finger Lakes Community College. Now 2-1, and it's hit over to the second baseman, Gamble, to Buxton, out number 1 of the inning recorded for Geneva. Some insight onto the long, extended, and sometimes heated conversation between the managers and umpires a few innings ago, or between the 4th and 5th inning. Seemed like it had to do with substitution trying to be put in by Geneva. But now that that's been resolved, we're still here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Zach Spurger up to bat. He struck out his first time around. Spurger doesn't swing at that outside pitch. Now 1-0, nearly going, and it's ruled strike 1. Zach Spurger out of Ithaca College. Fairly local. He swings and misses on that pitch. Spurger this season batting .357. Now the 1-2, and Spurger strikes out for the second time today. He's had no luck against Tyler Arno, who's now accumulated 7 Ks on the day. Michael Ambrosio, the last batter in the Doubledays order, his second time through. His first time around, he walked, ended up making it over to over to second base, but was stranded out in second. He fouls off the first pitch he sees. Arno now over 80 pitches on the day, but the strikeout numbers continue to rack up and up for him. As I mentioned, entered today with 13, now up to 20 strikeouts on the season. He gets the count to 0-2 against Ambrosio. Ambrosio in the hole. The 0-2. Fastball missing just upstairs. On deck is Jaden Madrid, if needed. In the hole, Teddy Monahan. The 1-2, that's hit, skied, getting just out of the infield. It'll be the shortstop making the play to end the 5th inning. Christopher Gonzalo getting underneath it. Your Auburn Doubledays scoreless through 5, 0-0 against the Geneva Red Wings. Stick around for more Doubledays baseball. Back here, top of the sixth inning, and it's still Braylon Dominguez on the mound. He'll be going against Kenta Minikata, who's ending the second time through the rotation for the Geneva Red Wings. Again, so far through this game, Geneva and Auburn have been practically identical. It took Auburn exactly 5 innings to go 2 times through the order. It's taken Geneva 5 1/3 innings to go now 2 times through the order. Count has devolved to 2-1 for Dominguez, who's up at 67 pitches on the day. Has racked up 5 punch-outs, including one against Minikata in the last at-bat, but there's a shot out to center field. Ethan Smith getting underneath it for out number 1. Now J.C. Gamble up. He also struck out his last time around. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Gamble, the product out of Florence Darlington Technical College. Lefty swings, chops that down the first base line over near the bullpen of the Red Wings. Actually, a pitcher jumping out of the bullpen to go snag that ball that rolled all the way over to the wall in right field. After that break between the first and second pitch of the at-bat, that gets away from the catcher, Griggs. 1-1 count. Pitch high, getting away. The Double A's haven't been as prolific at the plate as they had been in the early part of the season, but they had a solid offensive outing their last time out yesterday against the Niagara Ironbacks. However, just pitching wasn't there for them in a 16-6 loss that ended after 7. A mercy rule. Generally, Auburn's been doing the mercy ruling this season, not yesterday, and Braylon Dominguez walks J.C. Gamble. Gamble on base for the first time today. That's just Dominguez's 3rd walk of the day. He had walked 2 in the first 5 at-bats, and then had been pretty accurate since then. Connor McGo's up. He had the first hit of the day against Dominguez. He's sitting at 1 for 2. Gamble, the team leader in stolen bases this season. And he's sitting on first, taking a hefty lead. He looks primed to run. We'll see if he does end up taking off. 1 runner on, 1 out. Gamble again taking that aggressive lead, but Griggs is right there ready to make that transition into the throw. Dominguez had to tie his shoes. Now we'll step back in. After McGo, it's CJ Arrigo on deck. Pitch misses high. Makes it 3-0. Dominguez needs to recapture control or else this could get ugly here against the Red Wings. Still hasn't given up a run yet, but with the way that the Double A's have been hitting, really can't afford to be playing from a deficit. The 3-0 misses just high. There's a 4-pitch walk. Thomas Eaton doesn't seem concerned yet. We'll see if there's any movement in the Double A's bullpen. McGo on first, Gamble on second. Griggs going to have a chat with Dominguez. Madrid also conferencing on the mound. Now hitting the heart of the Red Wings order with CJ Arrigo up to bat. He, again, one of the best hitters on this Geneva squad. 368 on the campaign. After 2 straight walks, we'll see if Dominguez still has the stuff to get out of this jam. First pitch misses for a ball. That's a long stretch of balls that Dominguez has thrown. And another one missing low. He falls behind in the count 2-0. That's the 10th straight pitch to miss the strike zone thrown by Dominguez. Desperately trying to avoid making it 11, and he does. There's a strike. Arrigo doesn't swing, as he was just waiting for Dominguez to finally find his spot. Now the starting pitcher is alive. It's hit into center field. Smith trying to track it down. He does glove it. And there's a tag made by J.C. Gamble, putting runners on first and third. McGowan Gamble on the corners. Austin Dietz up to bat with 2 outs. Dietz is 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out his first at bat, had a fielder's choice in a second. This is a big opportunity for the Red Wings. We'll see if Geneva can capitalize. The righty pitcher versus the lefty batter. That's swung on, hit into right center field, and an incredible play made by Michael Ambrosio on the run. Gloves that shot into right field. He saves Braylon Dominguez's butt there. And we'll head into the bottom of the 6th inning. The Auburn Doubleday is still mired in a 0-0 tie. We're back, bottom of the 6th inning. Jada Madrid kicking things off here. He singled his last time up, 1 for 2 on the day. First pitch falls in for strike one. Still on the mound is Tyler Arno. Arno been racking up strikeouts, but also racking up pitches. He's up to 84, now 85 with that ball that missed the zone. But he's someone who's shown throughout the season that he's willing and able to pitch for long stretches of a contest before getting tired. He's certainly a strikeout pitcher, so he needs to be able to keep that arm rested. Now a 2-1 count facing Madrid. Another pitch way outside. Arno in danger of walking his fifth batter of the day. And he's really not someone who's struggled with control issues throughout the season. Now the 3-1. It's just outside. Ball 4. Teddy Monahan up to bat. And now we'll see Geneva's manager head out to the mound. This might be the end of the road for Tyler Arno. After a solid 5 innings of work, the 6th might be his last. And yes, it will be the end of the day for Tyler Arno, so we'll take a quick break. And we'll be back shortly with more information on who the new pitcher for the Geneva Red Wings is. The new pitcher for the Geneva Red Wings, going from the righty Tyler Arno, who made it through 5 innings, to the southpaw Max Lipton. No, not the iced tea. There's a runner on first after Jaden Madrid walked in 5 pitches. Teddy Monahan lets the first pitch fall for strike 1. Monahan yesterday had 2 hits in the Doubledays 16-6 loss to Niagara through 7 innings. Monahan today 0 for 2, an uncharacteristic quiet day for the star hitter. As Madrid takes off the throw, down to second, will not be in time. The tag not even tried to be applied by J.C. Gamble. But Monahan now down in the count 1-2. There is a runner in scoring position, however. Monahan struck out once today, flew out in his other at-bat. That flyout was a deep shot into center field. Breaking ball missing low, nearly getting away from the catcher, Coots. On deck is Colin Haug. Haug 1 for 2 on the day. The 2-2. It's in, and it's fouled off. Monahan stays alive. That was an absolute shot into right field, though. Into the right field grandstands at the very least. This is Monahan's second straight time up with runners in scoring position. Last time it was Ambrosia on second. This time it's Madrid. The 2-2. That's hit. Down the third base line. Fouled off yet again. Arrigo had scooped that in stride over at third. And now Monahan stepping back into the batter's box. Readjusting to the lefty pitching. The pitch, and Monahan whiffed on that go. And I think he knew that wasn't his best swing, and actually looks like he might have clipped that to stay alive. No, Monahan fighting. 7 total pitches in the at-bat. Now for the 8th. Looks back. The stretch. The throw. Madrid nearly taking off. Instead, he'll be caught between second and third and run over to third as there's a 4-3 putout. But Jaden Madrid is just 90 feet away from scoring. Colin Haug. 1 out on the board. This is the closest the Doubledays have gotten to scoring. Still tied up 0-0 here at Falcon Park, bottom of the 6th inning. Can Madrid cross home? Haug doesn't go. There's strike 1. That was a valuable play by Monahan. Even if he couldn't get on base, he advances Madrid just a step closer. Pitch outside. That evens up the count at 1-1. Then 1 out on the board. So pretty much any shot into the outfield, I imagine, we'll see Madrid taking off, especially with his speed. The 1-1 swung on, and Haug just couldn't catch a piece of it. We talk about the speed of Madrid. 4 stolen bases on the season. If he has an opportunity to tag up, I'm sure he will. The 1-2, that's chopped over to the shortstop. The throw made back home, and Madrid won't get there in time. He's caught by the catcher, Coots. There's a fielder's choice. And a good heads-up play made by the shortstop, Christopher Gonzalo. Jaden Madrid out at home. Colin Haug on the fielder's choice over to first. That was the opportunity for the Auburn Doubledays. Now just a runner on first, 2 outs on the board. Justin Batts up at the plate. Justin Batts swings his bat and it goes over down towards the Geneva first base line. That went over near Geneva's dugout, actually, and some of the Falcon faithful felt vindicated as that nearly clipped a Geneva player. Doubledays fans have been telling Geneva the entire game that they need to get into their bullpen or their dugout, as that's a takeoff. Haug making it over to second on the stolen base. Batts again has an opportunity with a runner in scoring position. The Doubledays have been to second base plenty of times today, have never scored in this contest. Batts now falling behind. It's another base runner with speed on. Haug has just one stolen base this season, now make it 2. The 1-2 pitch. That's outside, and there's strike 3. Justin Batts can't believe it. And Max Lipton escapes his first inning of work, filling in halfway through for Tyler Arno. Now we'll be back shortly here in the 7th inning on the Auburn Doubledays YouTube channel. Still on the mound for your Auburn Doubledays is Braylon Dominguez. Heading into tonight's contest, he had pitched just 6 innings this entire season, now going for his 7th today. The first pitch of the 7th inning is a strike to Dylan Abbott. Dominguez sitting at 82, now 83 pitches, and getting ahead early against Abbott, 0-2. Abbott 1 for 2 on the day, walked at his first. Will fight to stay alive against Dominguez. And there's a foul ball ricocheting off, and the kids are just storming towards the ball, looking for it, can't find it. We've got a classic chase out in the stands. Counts now worked its way to 2-2 for Abbott going against the pitcher Dominguez. Abbott just barely trying to stay alive. In that doubleheader that Geneva won, it came as a mixture of very timely hitting as well as very timely pitching, not letting Newark get anything, as there's a pop-up that Justin Batts will get underneath and corral for out number one. Now Caden Coots up to bat. We look at that first game against Newark, a 7-0 win. These were both on the road. They were supposed to play against Newark 2 days ago. That game got rained out, so instead they played 2 games yesterday. And Geneva started out hot in that one, 7-0 through the first 2 innings. That was the only run scored through that 7-inning clash. And that was a big part due to the hitting from J.C. Gamble, who we haven't really seen have a big day today, but he did walk in his last at-bat. Caden Coots is up at bat now. He went 2 for 4 in that first game. And then the second one, similar kind of path, but just happened in a different order. As Geneva started off slower, Newark actually took a 2-0 lead, but then a 3-run spurt in the fourth, a 3-run spurt in the seventh, and they were able to come away with a 7-3 victory over Newark in the second one. It's now a 3-1 count facing Caden Coots. There's 1 out on the board. Dominguez last inning had a little period where he looked shaky in terms of accuracy. Won't have that same shot as that ball ricochets off the mound. Madrid tried to barehand that. Likely wouldn't have made the play anyway. That's a base hit for Caden Coots. Weird play that just rocketed off of the pitcher's mound. Now Coots on first, with Noah Company up to bat. Coots gets his first hit of the day. Noah Company singled his last go-around. And now officially Geneva has more hits than the double days today. The first time all day that's been true. 3 for Geneva, 2 for Auburn, and the first pitch Company swings at, and it's hit pop fly right to the second baseman, William Ragland. Immediately right after hitting it, Company threw his bat towards the ground. He knew that had no chance of getting out of the infield. So after that pop out, Ben Buxton, who's 0 for 2 on the day, he'll step up with Caden Coots on first. 2 outs on the board. Both of them pop-ups. Buxton lets that one go for strike 1. Dominguez at 95 pitches now, nearing triple digits. The 0-1, that swung on, hit right to the second baseman, William Ragland. His second straight play being involved. And the Auburn Double A's get out of the top of the 7th. We'll be back for this after the 7th inning stretch for more Double A's baseball. Take me out to the ball game has played, and we're back here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ryan Story on the call as the Auburn Doubledays have only put together 2 hits in today's contest against Geneva. Now Chase Moore trying to change that fact. Breaking ball, missing outside. Max Lipton on the throw. The relief pitcher came in for Tyler Arno, got out of the top of the 6th inning unscathed. Now still going through this Doubledays lineup for the first time. Second pitch in there for strike 1. Chase Moore's 0 for 2 on the day, but right after him is Ethan Smith, who's walked in both of his at-bats. Now going against a new pitcher, we'll see if he has the same level of patience and success. There's a ball hit foul. It goes into the right field grandstands. Moore falls behind 1-2 in the count. Talk about uncharacteristic day at the plate. Moore 0 for 2 today, including 1 strikeout, but he's batting nearly .300 on the campaign. He's really thrived in his role on this Auburn Doubleday squad. Can play pretty much anywhere in the infield where needed. Routinely sits at third base and is a very valuable fielder at third. Count now 2-2, facing Moore. It's swung on, hit past the pitcher, the shortstop trying to make a play on it, and Gonzalo gets it over to first in time. Moore not fast enough to reach first before the throw. Ethan Smith will step up to the plate. As I just mentioned, he's walked twice. So he's got on both times, but hasn't really needed to swing his bat. He swings at that first pitch, fouls it off. He was patient against Darno, not going to be quite the same here against Lipton. Lipton, 6'1", 200 pounds out of Susquehanna. And he's pretty much firmly a relief pitcher. His career high at Susquehanna is actually just 3.2 innings pitched. So he knows his role and thrives in it. He's got an 0-2 count working against Smith. As Smith cracks one up the middle. That's a base hit. He's gotten on base all 3 times today. That's the first time he did so with his bat. Jonathan Griggs, another guy who hasn't had the greatest day at the plate so far today, struck out in his first at-bat, hit into a double play in his second. Now he has a chance here with a runner on first. There's a pickoff toss and nearly gets away from the first baseman, Ben Buxton, but he stops it with his chest. Griggs still awaiting his first pitch. It's in, and that's a breaking ball that got nowhere near the zone, high and away. So 1 out on the board for your Auburn Doubledays here in the bottom of the 7th. We'll see if Smith has any interest in taking off. He's already stolen a base today. But with a lefty pitcher now, it's a bit harder to do so. Throw down to first, not in time from the catcher. That's Coots trying to make the throw. Griggs seemed like he kind of wanted to swing at that breaking ball outside there. He was ready to jump on it. Now the 2-0. Griggs tensing. He swings. That's fouled off. 82 miles per hour on the pitch from Lipton. And he takes off. The pickoff is actually not going to get there in time. And oh, he slipped off the base. Ethan Smith with the stolen bag despite the pickoff attempt thrown over to first. Smith had too much momentum, though, and it carried him past second. He fell off in a timely tag by the Geneva Red Wings. And there's a crack. The third baseman gathers it. Origo throws it over. That gets away from Buxton. We'll see Griggs get over to second easily, slides into it, overruns it again, the second straight runner to do so. Keeps his hand on the bag, though. Jonathan Griggs with the single and some change. Now William Ragland. 2 outs, but a runner in scoring position. Auburn now ahead in the hits column 4-3 over Geneva. They've been in scoring position plenty of times this game. Haven't been able to avoid leaving their players stranded. First pitch misses for a ball. The Falcon faithful getting the claps going. Trying to hype up the home team. Can those claps awaken the bats? Ragland readies, he swings, that's it, into right field. It'll land foul. It actually will traverse all the way into the bullpen of the visiting squad. We're here 7:17 p.m. Thanks for sticking with us here on the Auburn Doubledays YouTube channel. Auburn's not done with the action after this game. We'll be back tomorrow with a contest against the Syracuse Saltcats. That technically counts as an exhibition game for your Doubledays, as it's not part of the PGCBL. But still some valuable competition. Make sure to tune in then. I won't be on the call for that game. Evan Carocchio, though, will be back tomorrow after he's done with his Father's Day break. Ragland behind in the count 1-2, and then I also won't be there for the game on Tuesday, and it'll be another home game for your Auburn Doubledays. That one will be a division game, though, and it's Chick-fil-A night here at Falcon Park. That one will be against the Batavia Muck Dogs. So a fun matchup up on the horizon. Last time Auburn played Batavia, it was 6-0 in favor of the Muck Dogs. That was at Dwyer Stadium, though. Now Auburn with the home field try to even up the series standings. It's a 2-2 count. Ragland gets it over to the shortstop, and Gonzalo going to make the play at first. Buxton gathers it. We're still scoreless through 7. Stick around for the 8th inning, where we'll see if the Auburn Doubledays can get ahead of the Geneva Red Wings. We're back here to kick off the 8th inning. Christopher Gonzalo up to bat, and it's that same pitcher for your Auburn Doubledays, Braylon Dominguez. Maybe he's going for a complete game here today as he's starting the 8th inning. He's been very, very solid for the Doubledays today, though. Only 3 hits given up. He's only walked, I believe, 4 batters. And gets Gonzalo to swing and whiff on the first pitch. Seems like Dominguez's stuff has only been getting better and better as the game has progressed. Another swing and a whiff. Gonzalo today 0 for 2, struck out in his first time out. Grounded out in his second. With Gonzalo and Minicata, who's on deck, have gone 0 for 2 so far today. Gonzalo doesn't go at that pitch, which misses outside. That outside pitch was 87 miles per hour. This one skied into the air. It's going to be Chase Moore getting underneath it, nearly on third base, and then does come down with the catch for out number 1 of the 8th inning. One important note about that pitch is that was the 100th pitch of the day for Braylon Dominguez. So he might be going for a complete game, but there's no Maddox on the horizon for Dominguez. He's just hit triple digits. The first pitch is a bunt attempt laid down by Kenta Minicata. That goes just foul. Hand delivers a ball to Dominguez. A breaking ball missing high. And there's strike number 2. A beautiful feed, 84 miles per hour from Dominguez. This is the lowest scoring game of the season by a long shot for the Doubledays. And there's the pitcher Dominguez running it down to first, flipping it to the first baseman Bats. Out number 2 is in the books. We'll flip on over back to the top of the Geneva lineup. J.C. Gamble up to the plate for his 4th at-bat. Gamble today has grounded out, struck out, and walked. This time, he ropes a single into left field. Gamble getting a little bit of every type of action. The 4th hit of the day given up by Braylon Dominguez. So there's a runner on first, but still 2 outs on the board. Connor McGough up to bat. He's gotten on base each of his last 2 at-bats. Walked his last time up, and there's a steal attempt. The throw gets there in time. Easy out, as that's a beautiful toss from Griggs over to the second baseman Ragland. That sits down J.C. Gamble. And we'll head into the bottom of the 8th inning. Your Auburn Doubledays still stuck in this 0-0 tie. Can they get out of it before the 9th inning? Stay tuned to find out. Back here, bottom of the eighth inning, Zach Spurger up to bat for your Auburn Double Days. Auburn has had no issues getting runners in scoring position, doing so in nearly every inning today. It's just been about not stranding them there, and so far, these runners have been more stranded than Tom Hanks in Castaway. Pitch finds the zone for strike number one. Zach Spurger frustrated after that. Maybe he thought he should have gone. Maybe he thought it shouldn't have been a strike. Oh, 1, and there's strike two on the breaking ball. I believe we have a pinch hitter on deck. The 0-2 count. The pitch outside. Spurger hasn't swung yet. Now the 1-2, it's in. It's swung on. It's fouled off. Still count at 1-2. On deck, the new guy out of Denison College, Flynn Shoop. And there's a breaking ball just missing the zone, makes it a 2-2 count. Flynn Shoop will be replacing Michael Ambrosio, the final batter in the Double Days order, who hasn't done a ton at the plate today, but he had a very impressive catch out in right field that saved a few runs for the Double Days and might have potentially saved the game for them. Because right now, Auburn has just not been able to put runs on the board. Lipton approaching the seventh pitch of this at-bat. We're here 7:30 p.m., and that's fouled off. Looking at pitch number 8 up ahead. Count now, 2-2. It's nearly swung on. The field umpire rules that he did not swing. Coots with the heads-up play trying to get the field ump to rule that Spurger did go, but the ump didn't call it. That was pitch number 8. Now the count finally full. The payoff is in. It's swung on. That's hit down the third base line. Can the throw make it there in time? And it does. CJ Rigo's toss barely beating out the sprinting legs of Spurger. Gets over to Buxton in time. Now Flynn Shoop coming up for his first at-bat of the game. Flynn Shoop only has one appearance for the Double Days so far this season. And it looks like we might have a pitching change for the Red Wings. Yes, that's the end of the road for Max Lipton. So we'll be back with you shortly here on the Auburn Double Days YouTube channel to tell you more about the next pitcher for Geneva. The new pitcher on the mound for the Geneva Red Wings is a familiar face. It's Noah Company, the center fielder, moving a bit closer to the batter as he'll now stand on the mound. Going in for Company in center field, that's going to be Dylan Briggs as the new designated fielder in tonight's contest. Company's first pitch is a ball that misses low, 88 miles per hour. Noah Company this season has pitched 1.2 innings for the Geneva Red Wings in just one appearance. And in that appearance, he did not give up a run, so he still has that squeaky clean 0.0 ERA. Faced 7 total batters, let up 2 hits in that showing. Going against Flynn Shoop out of Denison. And he was part of the squad that won the D3 National Championship this past season. Shoop didn't have a ton of action, only recorded 1 hit this season, but was part of one of the best teams in the entire country as Denison won its first ever title. Made it through some absolute gauntlets, teams such as East Texas Baptist, as well as ending it off with a win over Endicott 4-3 in the championship game. In Company's first at-bat, he's already worked his way to a full count. 2 guys getting their first action of the day, squaring off. Company's pitch. Shoop swings and fouls it. Shoop just finished up his sophomore campaign. Count tied at 3-2. And that's cracked into center field. Gets past the outstretched glove of Christopher Gonzalo. And there's a base hit for Flynn Shoop. Noah Company's day hasn't started on the most auspicious note. But it looks like Thomas Eaton has a few tricks up his sleeve as Jaden Madrid stepping up. But there's a swap out at first base. Chase Massey pinch running for Flynn Shoop. So Shoop gets to first and gets to exit. So there's still 1 out on the board, but the Doubledays have a runner on first. Looks like Will Ragland has a bunch of family in the comment section of today's stream. Shout out to Will Ragland and the rest of the Ragland family. As there's a pickoff attempt over to first base, not going to get there in time. Jaden Madrid up, and it looks like might have a pinch hitter on deck. Hard to tell if Teddy Monahan is still that next batter. Actually, yeah, I believe Teddy Monahan will still be up next with Colin Haug in the hole. Madrid now facing an 0-1 count after that 86-mile-per-hour fastball painted the zone. That pitch missing outside. Buxton moved way in front of first base. Coots kind of looked like he wanted to throw it down to Buxton, but with where Buxton was positioned, that wouldn't have made any sense. Trying to throw out Massey. Chase Massey this season has 4 recorded stolen bases. Has only been caught stealing once. Pretty solid conversion right there. We'll see if he takes off. 2 strikes on the board. Teddy Monahan on deck. The powerful hitter who's known for driving in runs. Madrid fights to stay alive and does. The 1-2 count. Company out of Eureka College. Trying to record his first out. Ball misses low. A big pitch here. The count evened. The 2-2 misses outside. And that's a pitch that had been called a strike through pretty much the first 4 innings of today's contest. Now the umpire holding his tongue. He'll let this battle continue. Full count. Runner on first. 1 out on the board. Bottom of the 8th inning. Jaden Madrid readies, and he does not go. There's ball 4. Madrid to first. Massey to second. And Teddy Monahan up to bat. This is Monahan's 3rd straight at-bat with a runner in scoring position. His 2nd of 3 with runners on first and second. This is his chance to take over this game. Madrid has now walked in each of his last 2 at-bats. And now it's going to be the catcher having a chat with this pitcher. Coots talking to company. Buxton also having a part of that conversation. Big chance here for Teddy Monahan. By the way, the Doubleday's previous lowest scoring game of the campaign was a 7-2 win over Geneva back on the 10th. This game is 0-0. 9 runs less than that 9-run contest. So almost undoubtedly going to be the lowest scoring game of the season for the Doubledays. 0-0 finds the zone. Monahan didn't feel the need to swing there. He's waited for the right pitch. Still just 1 out on the board. Auburn fans getting into it. Breaking ball misses outside. Monahan feeding off the energy of the crowd. And that swung on, hit over to the second baseman. Great throw. And wow, Massey got back in time. That must have just been before the throw. That was a dangerous opportunity for a double play there as J.C. Gamble caught that line out and then threw it over to Gonzalo. But it's ruled that the throw did not get there before Massey did. Now it's Colin Haug. 2 outs on the board. Haug, stunned by that strike call. This is still the opportunity that the Doubledays need to capitalize on. Haug, 1 for 3 in the day, but hasn't gotten on base since the 1st inning, in which he had a single. Breaking ball misses high. Somewhat of a shockingly unproductive game from Teddy Monahan, but you know, in baseball, sometimes you just have your days where it's frankly not your day. He's 0 for 4. Now Haug has the chance to finish it off for Auburn. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning. That clips the zone. That was not the most confident call in the world from the home plate umpire. Justin Batts on deck, ready if needed to be called upon. The 1-2 is in, and that ends the 8th inning. A furious fist bump from Caden Coots. Furious in joy, that is, as we'll head into the 9th inning. Auburn still mired in a 0-0 tie with Geneva. We've got one more inning of regulation baseball on our hands before potentially heading into extras. We're here in the top of the ninth inning. Still in the mound for your Auburn Doubledays, Braylon Dominguez, going for the complete 9 innings. That might not be enough in today's 0-0 clash. Connor goes swinging in, missing at the first pitch he sees. And there's a fastball that misses low and inside. Out in right field for the Auburn Doubledays, Riley Ames is out there in favor of Michael Ambrosio, who got pulled for a pinch hitter. And there's a base hit that just landed as a foul ball. And that's a stand-up double for Connor McGough. He hits his celebration out there on second. And Thomas Eaton is going back out to meet with Braylon Dominguez. That might be the end of the day for the star starting pitcher. He lasted 107 pitches, but that double might have ended his run. Eaton having the conversation. It's not totally clear yet if it's the end of his night. And yes, it is, as he gives up the ball. And we'll be back with you shortly to tell you more about the new pitcher for your Auburn Doubledays. We're back here in the top of the ninth inning. There's a runner on second and a new double-dice pitcher on the mound. It's Sam McKay coming in place of Braylon Dominguez. McKay this season has a shiny, spotless 0.0 ERA through 2.1 innings pitched. He's given up a batting average of 143. The first pitch he throws to CJ Arrigo is fouled off. So Braylon Dominguez finishes the day with 5 hits given up, 5 strikeouts, and 4 walks through 8 full innings pitched. Looked like he was going to try to go for the complete game, but just after giving up that double to kick off the ninth inning, manager Thomas Eaton decided that was not the prudent move. Can't chase individual success over team success. And it's still yet to be determined if Dominguez will give up a run, because if the runner Connor McGough scores from second, that run will be credited against Dominguez, not McKay. It's a 1-1 count. Arrigo doesn't go at the outside pitch. Good stop by Griggs. Sam McKay just finished up his freshman year at Canisius. The 6'3 pitcher had played for the Toronto Mets before that. He's also a 2-time CPBL All-Star. And after that 89-mile-per-hour pitch that just missed the zone, it's a 3-1 count. McKay trying to avoid having his first at-bat of the night end in a walk. And he does catch Arrigo swinging and missing. That loads this count up. It's full. The big opportunity here. Geneva hasn't had as many runners in scoring position today, but they've certainly threatened at times. This is a good chance here at the top of the ninth inning. Auburn would only have 1 half inning to respond. And there's ball number 4, the payoff pitch. McKay can't get it too close. Arrigo on first, McGough on second, Austin Dietz at the plate. The lefty extra hitter will be a new look for McKay. McKay faced a righty in his first at-bat. Arrigo now facing Dietz, the lefty. Still no outs on the board. Runners on first and second. It looks like Arrigo is going to lay down a bunt. Pulls it back in time. There's ball 1. Auburn in danger here. This has been an absolute slugfest. Neither team getting on the scoreboard. Each team recording 5 hits so far. McKay just outside. The count not in his favor. 2-0. At this point in the contest, every pitch matters. Sorry for the video, as there's a bunt laid down to the third baseman, Chase Moore, throwing it over to first, getting there in time. The sacrifice bunt advances both runners. We'll have the video here for you in just a second. But now there's runners on second and third for the Geneva Red Wings with just 1 out. And a sacrifice here could put Geneva in the lead. It's a pinch hitter, it looks like, for the Geneva Red Wings. It's number 3, Dylan Briggs, who is out in center field for Noah Company. The first pitch missed low for a ball. So with runners on second and third, Briggs has a golden opportunity here. All he has to do is just hit one into the sky. As long as it gets out of the infield. There's strike one thrown by McKay against Briggs. Briggs. Now it's a 3-1 count. Ball loads the bases. And there's strike two instead of ball four. Now it's Dylan Briggs who really has to think about this next pitch. The young McKay could show up big here with a strikeout. It would be his first of the day. And he just can't find the zone. It gets away from him low and outside. Briggs takes first. Runners on first, second, and third force out at any base, and it's Caden Coots up to bat, the catcher, who's 1 for 3 on the day. There's only one out on the board, but there's a force out at every base. Auburn has never been in more danger. It's the first time today that the bases are loaded for either team. McKay throws it in. There's strike one. Coots knows that he should have won at that. Can't afford to be that patient. And there's strike number 2 as Coots swings, misses, can't connect. Can McKay deliver? It's an 0-2 count. Strikeout goes a long way towards escaping the top of the 9th. The 0-2 is in, and it gets away from Griggs, but he'll keep it in front of him. Boy, between Jonathan Griggs and Dylan Briggs, a lot of rhyming with these opposing teams. After Coots, it's Noah Company on deck. The center fielder turned pitcher. And wow, that gets away from Griggs. He'll have to toss it back to McKay. He doesn't get there in time. And there's a scored runner off the wild pitch. Connor McGough gets to home off the wild pitch. All runners advance. Briggs to second. Arrigo to third. McGough home. The Geneva Red Wings get on the board first. It's 1-0 here in the top of the 9th inning. Still just one out on the board. McKay will have to mentally reset after that pitch. Obviously not what he wanted there, but you can't relent in a situation where Auburn could come back in a 1-0 game, but if it gets worse than that, it could get ugly. It's fouled off, so Coots stays alive. And the 2-2 count. McKay, standing still, waiting for the pitch. 2 runners in scoring position. It's in, and there's strike 3. McKay rings up Coots, and Coots is not happy. Noah Company, the pitcher who will likely be moving back over to the mound after this inning, is up at the plate. The lefty batter. He lets the first pitch go for a ball. He'll make his own job much easier if he's able to drive in these two runners. There's strike one, though. Company could be setting himself up for a very nice save if he comes back in the bottom of the ninth inning. The 1-1 count is outside, making it 2-1. McKay trying to escape. And he hits a grounder over to shortstop, and Jaden Madrid tosses it for out number 3. A great play made by the shortstop. The 6-3 putout gets Sam McKay and company out of the inning, but Geneva gets on the board first. It's 1-0 in favor of the Red Wings. Stick around for more Auburn Double Days baseball coming up when you return, and see if the Double Days can mount the comeback. It all comes down to this. For the Auburn Double Days, bottom of the ninth inning, Auburn trails 1-0 after Geneva scored in the top of the ninth. The 3 guaranteed batters for the Auburn Double Days: Justin Batts, Chase Moore, and Ethan Smith. They'll be going against a new pitcher, though. It's not Noah Company still on the mound, as he ended off the top of the ninth inning at the plate. Instead, it's going to be Joshua Litsky. Litsky is not only going for his first save of the season, he's also going for his team's first save of the season. Yes, that's right. Geneva has not recorded a save yet this campaign. Litsky on the year, 5.14 ERA, 1-1 record through 7 innings of work. Bats fouled off that first pitch. The second, in and outside. Justin Batts awaiting. He'll swing and whiffs. Can't catch any of that. Bats hasn't had the strongest day today. Struck out in his first and third at-bats. Walked in the middle of that. Really not looking to strike out for the third time today. And it's the third different pitcher. The 1-2 outside, high and away. Speaking of different pitchers, Braylon Dominguez ends his day, yes, with a run. That score by Connor McGough was credited against Dominguez since he let him on in the first place with the double to kick off the top of the ninth inning. So he might have gone through 8 full innings of work and some extra just to still end up with the loss today. Would be a real shame to see him get that. But Justin Betts with the hit over to the second baseman, J.C. Gamble, who makes the diving play, flips it over to Ben Buxton. Bats looked like he might have had a hit on his hand there, but just couldn't get to first in time. J.C. Gamble with the acrobatic dive and throw. Now it's the lefty, Chase Moore, giving Joshua Litsky a new look. Moore today is 0 for 3. He's due for one. The first pitch clips the edge of the zone. The Auburn Doubledays down to their last 2 outs. Litsky's pitch is fouled off. Moore nearly got a good chunk of it. Instead, just missed and sent it out to the parking lot. Litsky with the 0-2 advantage. He'll step off and reset. Litsky out of LaSalle. He's going against Chase Moore, who readies. He's got his bat, eager to swing. He wants this one. Litsky with the toss that's way high. Not going to find the zone. Litsky not trying to let his save opportunity go away. Moore still waggling his bat. There's another pitch high into, wow, that's strike 3. Moore can't believe it. An 89-mile-per-hour fastball sits down Chase Moore. The backwards K brings up Ethan Smith. Smith has reached base in all of his at-bats tonight. Walked in his first 2, singled his last time up. He'll need that same magic in this at-bat against Josh Litsky. As the Doubledays are down to their last out. The first pitch is a breaking ball that misses upstairs. Again, another one of these Denison products. Part of the team that won the D3 National Championship. Can he provide some of that winning spirit to Auburn here? Well, he swings and misses at that pitch. Can't catch it. Count now 1-1. Pitch outside. If Smith happens to get on, it's Jonathan Griggs on deck. Griggs, another player who has had the best night at the plate. Now the 2-1. Makes it 3-1. We'll see if Smith can either walk for the third time today, get on base for the fourth time, or go home empty-handed. The 3-1 fouled off by Smith. He stays alive. Thought he might have had a better piece of it. Now it's a full count. The pressure really on. The lights as well for Ethan Smith, the young center fielder out of Denison. The chance to turn this game around with the swing of his bat. 3-2. And that's ball 4 right on the edge of the zone. This umpire who's been calling those strikes today, he'll give Ethan Smith first base there. That brings up Jonathan Griggs, who singled his last time up and then reached second on the throwing error from the third baseman, C.J. Arrigo. Litsky approaching his 16th pitch. And there's a dribbler hit. It's going to be the catcher making the play. And oh, he loses it. Caden Coots couldn't gather it. He outran Litsky to the ball. But that's a beautiful hit laid down. Basically, it was a bunt by Jonathan Griggs that went absolutely nowhere, but advances him to first, Ethan Smith to second. So the Doubledays might be on their last out, but they're still fighting, scrapping their way, trying to score. Miles Fontaine will be pinch running for for Jonathan Griggs. Ethan Smith still on second. So an influx of speed into the lineup. The catcher will sit down. We might have a pinch hitter on our hands as well. It's Nacho Gonzalez for the Auburn Doubledays. He replaces William Ragland. Nacho Gonzalez, the player who leads the Doubledays in batting average this season, batting .524 on the campaign, slugging .571, gets on base at a clip of .615. He's fast and he can hit. We'll see if he can get on base. Runners on first and second. No room for the Doubledays. 2 outs on the board. Now Nacho Gonzalez gets a taste of what's been being called today. Strike 1 on the edge of the plate. The 0-1. Gonzalez doesn't go. Another pitch outside, this time too far outside. Litsky keeping a watchful eye on Ethan Smith over at second. On deck is Zach Sperger, who's 0 for 3 today. The 1-1. It's in, and Gonzalez chasing, swinging and missing. Gonzalez down to his last strike. It's a 1-2 count. $8:15 here on Father's Day. Can Nacho Gonzalez send the fathers in the stands home happy? And there's strike 3 ringing up Nacho Gonzalez. Gonzalez screaming at the umpire. He just got tossed to end this Sunday night contest. The Doubledays are furious with pretty much the umpiring this entire game. But Geneva is thrilled as they pick up their 3rd straight win, their 3rd in 2 days, in fact. And the Doubledays go home empty-handed in a 1-0 loss on this Sunday night. Thanks for sticking with us here on the Auburn Doubledays YouTube channel. That's the end of the game in a 1-0 loss for the Auburn Doubledays to the Geneva Red Wings. Auburn has now dropped their last 2 contests. They'll be back here ready to get tomorrow night against the Syracuse Saltcats. You have to credit a great game for Braylon Dominguez, who went just over 8 innings, but still picks up the loss. And a great save by the pitcher Joshua Litsky. And Noah Company, I believe, will get credited with the win. So, wasn't Auburn's day at the plate today, had plenty of chances, just wasn't able to convert. We'll see how Auburn responds tomorrow in an exhibition against the Saltcats. They can get back on track. And then it's to Batavia on Tuesday. Evan Carocho will be on the call for those 2 games. I will not be here in Auburn, but I'll be back on that Thursday home game here at Falcon Park. Signing off for this Auburn Double Days contest. Geneva 1, Auburn 0. I'm Ryan Story signing off. Have a great night, Auburn.